Good morning, everybody. You ever wonder on X-Plane what your most difficult airport is to land at? Everybody knows about the Montrose Airport in France. Well, I found an airport on YouTube where a guy was landing a PC-12 and I couldn't believe it. Unreal. It's a little airport just south of Austria, just inside the Italian border, called Locher Sarantino. It's a private grass airstrip owned by a construction company. And the way they got it modeled in X-Plane, it's just about impossible to land there because the runway's not modeled right. It's like the roof of a house, so if you hit it, it's going to slam into it. It's pretty hard to land there, but the approach is really wild because you got to go down this narrow valley, and there's 3 power lines crossing the valley that you've got to be aware of, stay to the right of them and everything. So it's pretty cool, and the scenery's pretty good going through the Austrian Alps. So we're going to give it a shot here. It's not a long flight, but the scenery's spectacular. And right now we're in Innsbruck. So I got the GNS 530 already programmed for the airport. It's called Locher Airfield. It's a private construction company that owns it. They got a factory right there. So we'll get in the plane here. I'm going to zoom in on the aircraft. We're flying my favorite airplane, the Chieftain. And this is it here. We'll take it off pause and jump inside. So we'll get to it. Oh, I got stupid stuff coming up. Just a sec here. I gotta close down this. Got lots of traffic from my default. There's all kinds of traffic. This is using Ortho 4XP. There's a bit of a wind. I got about 4 or 5 knots of wind. Boy, this is a lovely airplane. It's by Alabale. It's well worth the money. It's a really nice flying airplane. I got the air traffic control turned off so I can just enjoy the flight, talk to you guys without being talked over with all the ATC. My main objective is to show you the scenery and show you the approach to this airport. I may not even land at it. I'm just going to approach, and just as I get to the runway I'll stop the video because it's impossible. I've tried about 20 times and crashed every time. But it's an airport you guys might not be aware of. It's called Locher, and its ICAO is XLILU. You got anybody coming? We got a guy crashing. I think we had an airplane crashed over there. Better get the emergency crew out. Okay, I'm gonna use, I'm not gonna turn the autopilot on until I get altitude, because there's a big mountain right beside the airport here that I gotta go around, and the GNS 530 will take me right towards it, because it'll follow the flight plan. Okay, here we go. You're up. I'm going to follow that valley right there. Now the approach to this airport, there's two churches. You got to kind of line up between the churches, and then drop down. You're hugging the valley wall. Couple airliners way off there in the distance. See if we can get our heading going here. be able to climb these mountains. I got the autopilot on now, climbing at 2,300 feet a minute. Oh, you just enjoy the view. Back seat view. I think I can level it off now. Look at that view. I think I'll take it up just a few more 100 feet here. Looks awful close. And you can see we're following our course. 10 minutes, 31 kilometers. This is Ortho 4XP, isn't that spectacular? The Austrian Alps. Closest thing to real flying. Twenty-seven kilometers. You get that right here. 7 minutes ETA. We're probably at the Italian border, just about here. How's our fuel? We got enough. We got a quarter tank right here. got a little bit of wind knocking us around a little bit. Doing 170 knots. It's one of my favorite places to fly. I just love the scenery. "16 kilometers. Hard to believe there's an airport down there, eh? Start to lose some altitude here. Use that grab. Now we've got to come in from the other end. That's the only way you can land there. So I've got to, in a minute here, I'll kick off the autopilot and take over. I've got control of the aircraft. Now they say the landmarks are 2 churches. You've got to look for 2 churches. See, we're 3 miles or 3 kilometers north of the airport, but we're going to come in from the other end. Because I got my RPM down to idle. Let's lose some speed. I don't think you could land at this airport at night. I use this town as a guide to make my turn on base. think those are the two churches over there. You got to kind of split them. Gear down. There's the two churches. Now you got to stay to the right of this valley, because you'll see just beyond the church on the left there's a power line that you got to stay to the right of. And you can see the power line. Put on some flaps. You got to stay real close to this right valley wall. There's a second power line that cuts across the valley right here. You can just see the tower. Another notch of flaps. And then the last power line, you can see they got balls on the cables. You got to kind of stay above the cables. And that's the airport right there. And there's the last power line. You can see it off on the left in that little clearing. You should be able to see some balls here and cables crossing the valley. There's the factory, the construction company. And this runway is impossible to land on. There, I mean, I paused it. You see what I mean? It's just a crazy runway.